live. Top Flight TV, Mr. Top Flight Films here. I'm checking in. Y'all see the topic. Drake. We on your heels, sir. We are on your heels, sir. As a lot of you all know, I've been very critical of Drake. Tonight, we're going to talk about Drake's recent comments about London rappers are better than American rappers. No American rapper can touch London rappers or some shit like that. He was saying London rappers are better than American rappers. We're going to talk about it. If you have an opinion, if you want to weigh in, please feel free. Just be respectful. If you disagree, everybody is welcome to add their comment, but please hit the like button when you come in. If you're catching the playback, please leave a comment in the comment section. So let's get right to it. Last night, Wireless Festival. Y'all know what the Wireless Festival is? It is a festival, I'm guessing it's in UK. I don't know about it, I really don't care about it. Drake has, he's been doing a series of promotional rollouts. He dropped a single. It's a cool little single. Doesn't take away the fact that he's corny and he's suing and he got his ass smashed by Kendrick. But nevertheless, he is performing at this Wireless Festival. It's a three-night situation, if I'm not mistaken. He's brought out Lauryn Hill. He's brought out Lotto, 21 Savage, things of that nature. Cool. While he was on stage, Drake decided to say that he decided to make a bold statement that no rapper from America can touch London rappers. There is no rapper in America better than London rappers. Now, I found that to be very disrespectful, okay? I found that to be extremely disrespectful, extremely inaccurate, and I'm really wondering if he was trolling or not. If you think he was trolling, you can put your comment in the comment section. My man Ray Minnick, what's up, man? Ray Minnick says, Drake only said that because no American rappers had his back during the beef. The UK rappers still showed him love. He basically didn't have a choice. Or maybe that's how he really feels. I don't know. We're going to get to that. Paper Stacker Jason says, bruh, talking to nobody. Now, I'm talking to my people. Shout out for the group chat, Cherry Ball. Shout out to the group chat. Ray Minnick says, I don't like how UK rappers flow. Peace of mind. What up? Uriah Theo. Hey, shout out to you. Thank you for the subscription, man. It's Miss Drea says, no, he's trolling. He's being who he really is. Stop giving him excuses. Oh, no, he's not trolling. Now, I'm asking the question, sweetheart. Listen, I'm just asking because the reality is, and I was going to save this till later, but we pulled up his tweet from years ago naming his top 5. Okay? See, the thing about the internet, man, when you put stuff on the internet, it doesn't go away. So if you go on Top Flight Instagram, if you go on my Instagram right now, topflight_TV, I posted Drake's tweet from some years ago. And he tweeted his top 5 rappers. And there was not one UK rapper on that tweet. You understand? So I'm asking, you know, is he trolling? Because nobody in their right mind will believe that. That's number one. Nobody in their right mind will believe that a London rapper is, you know, London rappers are better than American rappers. Nobody believes that. So I found it to be disrespectful. I took it seriously. I took it as Drake is very bitter. Yes, and you got it right, sweetheart. He is mad because no one came to his defense. He's taken the battle extremely hard. The battle has really took a toll on Drake, you dig? And he's still talking about it, still ranting about it. What I want to know is, how is it that a Canadian who cosplays a Black American, who got his fame and his clout and his whole career built off of Black American culture, how can you then turn around and talk about the Black American rappers that put you where you are, that you have tried to give reverence to and, acted like you were paying homage to. How can you turn around and disrespect them? You dig? After all these years. Now, I want to know. This is the biggest thing that I want to know, and I find this to be interesting because during this battle, there's a lot of big rappers that are still pandering to Drake. They still want to be neutral. They won't be honest. They won't come out and say Drake lost the battle. All of the Drake glazers within the industry, I want to know how they feel today. They got disrespected today. And I want to know how they feel about Drake saying that. Because I believe Drake made more enemies by saying that. You dig? Let me get to some of these comments real quick. Cleon Brown says, look me up. All right. Miss Drea says, because he was only using us to get where he is now. That's why. He's a fake and he's been acting the whole time. Hey, Miss Drea, you preaching to the choir, man. I've been very critical of Drake. I've done many videos on Drake and Lil Wayne. And yes, a lot of us knew Drake was not authentic. You understand? And we knew this from day one. But the music that he gave us was so great, so immaculate, that we gave him a pass. You understand? I'm going to speak for myself. I gave him a pass. And throughout this battle, he's been exposed. Up until the battle started, I was rocking with Drake. I didn't like the 21 Savage collaboration. I didn't like the whole Sexy Red thing. Because, it looks like he's pandering to black women. You understand? That's just my opinion. But the battle exposed Drake. It exposed how much of a cosplayer he is. He said things like, one of the things that got me when he said, you're rapping like you're trying to free the slaves. That right there, man, that lets us know he's not like us. And Kendrick did an amazing job at breaking things down and showing us that he's not like us. You dig? Miss Drea says, yeah, they still trying to make sure they get that famous feature that may happen one day. Yeah, but I'm gonna keep it real. I guarantee you, somebody's gonna be offended. Out of all the rappers, somebody's gonna be offended. But it was really disgusting, man. You would see a lot of big rappers like trying to act like, they want to stay out of this shit. But Drake is not reading the room. You understand? He doesn't know how Americans are. Now, this is really a diss to black Americans, to be honest. This is a diss to foundational black Americans. And yes, I'm not crazy or obsessed with that notion, but what other Americans is he talking about? Eminem, sure. But majority of the rappers are black Americans. So I feel like that was definitely a diss towards foundational black American rappers. Leeds, Maryland, what's up? Are you from Leeds, Maryland? Crack says, Drake's still the GOAT. Cracks, listen, buddy. I wouldn't have argued with you a year ago about Drake being a GOAT. Drake is disqualified from being a GOAT. He is disqualified. This is coming from a 44-year-old hip hop head, rap culture connoisseur. All right, he's disqualified for being a GOAT. It just can't happen. He sued after a rap battle. He sued. He's had countless ghostwriters. Not only did he sue after the rap battle, but he whined and moaned and kicked and screamed and fell on the floor with Pusha T. Pusha T spanked him, and when Kendrick spanked him. He can't be a GOAT. In order to be a GOAT, you gotta be tough in rap. You gotta be a man in rap. You gotta show some some sort of ruggedness in rap. You just can't be out here acting like a girl and thinking that you're gonna be a GOAT. You're not a GOAT. You dig? Cleon says, look up my track. KD Skirt says, ew, Drake, he weird. Yeah, he's weird. Silver said, Lil Wayne is fire. Lil Wayne was fire. Okay? Lil Wayne was fire. You got that? Crack says, Kendrick is a bum. If Kendrick's a bum, and I'm not caping for Kendrick, you know, maybe I am, but there's no need to cape for Kendrick because the work spoke for itself. You dig? Kendrick's display, we've never seen an ass whooping like that in hip hop. That ass whooping it will go down in history. You dig? Algam David says, you're not a rap artist, you're a scam artist with the hopes of being accepted. Man, Euphoria was a master class. You dig? And you really got artists and tastemakers and bloggers. Maul. What about Maul? I wish I can sit down with Maul one time. I wish I could sit down with that dude one time and have a conversation about the battle. Because people give him, when he sat down with DJ Head, they gave him so much leeway. Maul is delusional. Euphoria is one of the greatest diss songs in history. And I say that very confidently. Let me catch up with these comments. Forgive me, y'all. CJ says, you better watch your back because I'm coming for you and I won't stop until I get what's mine. Okay, CJ. Black Moses says, yeah, he spanked Drake. Kendrick did that boy bad. Man, he did him so filthy. Drake is still trying to recover from it. Drake has not recovered from that ass whooping, family. Look, he's getting tattoos covered up. Y'all know he just got his LeBron tattoo covered up? And he put another man, he covered it up with another man's jersey or number or some shit. The quota says, that's why Kendrick's getting sued and the opinion of the community won't matter. They already saying they got black fatigue. They're sick of us already. Listen, who cares what kind of fatigue they have? Who cares? Listen, we're black people. We're never going nowhere, okay? You got black fatigue, go to sleep. Okay. This is the little whiny bitch shit that I be talking about. We don't deal with fatigue, family. We don't get tired. My ancestors never got tired. You dig? They built this motherfucker. They went through the storm. They went through slavery and Jim Crow. You understand? We still go through stuff to this day. We never talk about no damn fatigue. Some little sucker shit like, I have fatigue. Man, get the fuck out of here with that, dog. You dig? Jesse Wayne said, what's up, bro? I just saw your channel and definitely liking what you talk. Hey, shout out to you, homie. Shout out to you, man. Y'all hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Shout out to Oakland in the building, man. Shout out to Oakland. I got to meet Too Short back in 2009. Shout out to Too Short, man. I'm just out here on the porch, man, on a beautiful summer evening, summer night. CJ said, I ain't playing. You know what I'm capable of, so don't make me show you. All right. Yeah, what is it with these trolls? They just, I mean, you ain't got nothing better to do on a Sunday night? Miss Drea said, Kendrick did what needed to be done for hip hop. Now we have the clips dropping. Hey, listen. I wanted to do a whole breakdown of the Clips album. The Clips album has been on repeat. And I might as well just touch on it now. The Clips album has been on repeat since it came out. Well, I ain't gonna say that. I've been on the road, and my other car doesn't have a radio in it, so I had to wait. I wanted to wait till I was at home, relaxed. But shout out to the Clips. That album was much needed. Shout out to these two thorough brothers. No gimmicks. No riding around in a truck trying to be tough. Okay? No secret subliminal messages on Instagram. Just straight up craft, man. Shout out to them brothers. I like most of the album. You see, we don't lie around here. We're not gonna sit around here and lie and glaze. For real, he messed up some of them songs. But majority of the album, I love it. It's on repeat. You dig? Yeah. Tyrese says Drake only sued UMG so he can get out of his contract. Come on, cuz, man. Let me tell you something. That sounds good, man. That sounds real good. But it's just not true. And to be fair, and I told y'all the other day, to be fair, it was a wise business move to sue. When somebody calls you a pedophile, you you know, it's kind of like you kind of want to sue because now you're in a position. If you don't sue, there could be some truth to it, whatever. But this is a rap battle. He gets zero respect for suing. He gets zero respect. We can go down the line of battles, okay? And we can talk about 50 Cent. 50 Cent had an imaginary or a fake transsexual on his album, acting like, and people believe this. Y'all remember when 50 came out? He had a transsexual on his album telling the world that he was involved with Ja Rule. And it was a skit, and there was no truth to it. Did Ja Rule sue? Ja Rule didn't sue. He could have absolutely sued. You did, because it really damaged Ja Rule. Because a lot of people believed it. You know what I'm saying? So that's our era. That's the era we come from. This guy is suing. You dig? And the reality is, and I went through this the other day. Kendrick said, "Say Drake, I heard you like him young." Guess what? I heard he likes him young too. Most people heard that. We heard little rumblings and whispers. I'm not saying Drake is that. I'm not saying that. But we heard Drake was doing little things that were outside of boundaries, like inboxing underage girls. I don't care if he wanted to take them out for ice cream. I don't care if he wanted to put them on a feature. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let's just say Drake was DMing underage girls because he wanted to work with them. No, you stay away from stuff like that. You have your manager contact their manager. You understand? So you won't be in a rap battle and somebody can say, "Hey, I heard you like him young." They said he contacted Billie Eilish and I forgot the other girl's name. You know what I'm saying? So Kendrick didn't make up some shit out of thin air. Kendrick said what most of us heard. It's stuff online talking about this from years ago. You understand? So let's not act like Kendrick just made this shit about the blue. And all the people want to forget about the fact that Drake made things up or he spread gossip and rumors on Kendrick. Said the kids might not be his. Said that his wife was dealing with Dave Free. But Drake has privilege. Drake has privilege in hip hop. And that's why I'm constantly on his head. Because he seems to have some sort of privilege in hip hop where he can do whatever he wants to do. I don't know if it's light skin privilege. I don't know if it's pretty privilege, as people would say. You know, girls say pretty privilege is real. Because he can always pander to the women. When he came out with the record from Party with Party, they pandered to the women. That's what they did. I mean, it was sickening. Like, give me a hug, give me a hug, give me a hug, give me a hug. I mean, it was sick, like, cuz, like, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people fell for it. I'm older, so a lot of the young people was like, yeah, this is great. You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm like, man, this is terrible. Like, he has a cheat code. Drake has a cheat code, man. Let's be honest. I'm gonna get back to these comments, man. I'm so sorry, man. I normally like to get all the comments or as many as I can. I'm gonna scroll down, get these comments real quick. Viral Industry said it's gay privilege. Sir Marfield said rich Canadian privilege. GOJ says Jew privilege. Custom J said he's a Chester Chomo. Y'all crazy, cuz. Y'all crazy. Ghost H says, on an industry level, it's his Jewish privilege. On a consumer level, it's because his base has already been built by the Jew privilege. That is a very good answer, sir. That's a very good answer. I agree. I think it has something to do with Jew privilege. Nobody has ever, listen to me, y'all. I want y'all to listen close. Nobody has had a run like Drake. Nobody has had resources like Drake in rap music. I'm talking about in rap music. See, Drake has had so many resources. He's had a run like no other. And it before this battle, you couldn't even see the end of his run. You dig? So that lets you know right there that there's something going on behind the scenes with some powers that be. Because a lot of these cats, Future, a lot of the features that he was getting and the people he was aligning himself with to look like he was thorough, they couldn't get these resources. They had to work the hard way. They had to really put the work in. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why a lot of them fell out with Drake, because Drake wasn't bringing them into them doors. He wasn't walking them into them rooms. Yeah, he'll do a record with him to make himself look street. You dig? Y'all remember Drake when he came out? Do y'all remember Drake when he first came out? Go back and listen to and look at the old Drake. His nigga was a geek. He's still a geek, but he wasn't trying to hide it back then. He was a real geek. But as time went on, he started standing next to Wayne. He started standing next to Ross. Then he started standing next to Future. Then he started standing next to people like Black Boy JB. And it went to his head, and he really got out of pocket. Now he's on a whole album with 21 Savage talking about spinning and nigga. Do you remember that we remember you? We remember you, cuz like you was a geek, man, like a serious certified geek. SJW says the Jew is the problem with the world. You said it, not me, sir. You said it, not me. We know we believe white supremacy is the problem with the world. There's no difference. You dig? Leah said, blood, what by one is there? I don't know what you're saying, Leah. Jesse Wayne said, which is pretty much said the same thing at the same time. Willie Cardina says, yeah, all them gay. Marcelo Nita says, yeah, that's correct. But hey, his best music came after he got involved with those type of people. I'm not mad. I love Live from the Gutter. Look, make no mistake, Drake got some serious bangers. I love Energy from Drake. I love Jaded from Drake. I love Live from the Gutter. I love a lot of different joints that they got, and you are 100% right. Some of his best music came from being around these type of people and clicking up with these type of people. That's 100% true. Even Take a Shot for Me, and that album that he did, Take a Shot for Me, that was dope too. But he went to another level once he aligned with street dudes. But at the same time, it went to his head. You know what I'm saying? Like he got out of control. Just like in real life. In real life, you got people that aren't really cut from that cloth. They get to hanging around some brothers that are, and next thing you know, they done lost their mind. They turned out. You know what I'm saying? They think that they are that, and they're not really that. And then when the shit hit the fan, like with this Kendrick battle, you see the real them. Suing, whining, crying. You dig? Isaac Rodro, hola. Mick OG Flynn says Tupac was the best rapper. Tupac is the GOAT. I'm sorry if anybody disagrees, but Tupac is the GOAT. Not one of the GOATs. Tupac is the GOAT. In my book, because the GOAT is selective. Everybody has their preference on what they feel is the GOAT. And I'm not mad at that. If somebody says Drake is their GOAT, but you gotta put it, you gotta say my GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Leah said Tupac is the GOAT. Leah said Drake's a culture vulture. Absolutely. He is the definition. He is the textbook definition of a culture vulture. Did y'all see him walking out with what's the country boy's name? What's the country singer's name? Did y'all see him walk out with the country singer? I'm like, shit, he's about to do country next. Drake is gonna be around forever. Listen, one thing I hate from the Drake supporters, the guys who were rooting for Drake, one thing I hate when they say is they'll say shit like, "You guys thought Drake was gonna go away." Nobody in their right mind thought Drake was gonna just go away. Drake will be 80 years old, and he'll probably still be doing arenas and shit because he has the R&B pop side of things. He has R&B on his side. You understand that? So nobody ever thought Drake was going to disappear or he was not going to come out the house no more. You know, this is just things that Drake supporters say to cope with the loss. You know what I'm saying? All right, now, Isaac, calm down, sir. It's not that type of party, man. I appreciate you, though. Christopher Brown says, how is Tupac better than Lil Wayne and Eminem? What? Let me explain to you. Christopher Brown, you still in here? Christopher, I got to address this comment. How is Tupac, Christopher asked, how is Tupac better than Lil Wayne and Eminem? Now, first of all, I got to say this. Better is subjective, okay? That's like me saying to you, chicken is better than turkey, or chicken is better than steak. You understand? It's all about preference. Now, what I'm going to say is, for me, Tupac is better than, let's start with Lil Wayne. Tupac is better than Lil Wayne because Lil Wayne, throughout his whole career, he hasn't rapped about anything worth of substance. Maybe on a couple songs, but what has Lil Wayne rapped about? It's just rhyming words and talking about, you know, the chicks and this bullshit. Tupac had real substance. Tupac talked about things that are happening. He was a prophet. He prophesized a lot of things. I'm talking about real grown man shit. I ain't talking about, like, we saw what Lil Wayne just did. Lil Wayne flopped again. He flopped in a major way. That last album Lil Wayne put out was terrible. Now, moving on to Eminem. Shout out to both of these artists. They all did their thing. I'm not hating, but we're being real. He asked me, how is Eminem better? How is Tupac better than Eminem? Again, substance. Eminem rapped about what exactly? What did Eminem rap about? Okay, recovery, cool. I'm in recovery. No problem. I can relate, but it's still, that was a little late in the game. Okay. Eminem made his bones off of rapping about unaliving his mother and baby mother and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and just a bunch of goofy shit. You dig? Tupac never made a song like Just Like Me. That goofy ass song, you're really asking me why is Tupac better than that? That goofy. Go play that song right now. What's it called? It feels so empty without me. Go play that song right now. That is the most goofiest song in hip hop history, dog. Eminem tried to come back with the Death of Slim Shady. That was a flop. Nobody cared about it. They cared about it for a day. John Mitchell said, do you think Tupac would be as legendary if he hadn't been killed in his prime? I believe so. I believe so. This is what I believe, John. I believe that they would have tried to slander Tupac like they doing other artists. They would have had to get Tupac up out of here. I think Tupac probably, and I'm just being real, Pac would have probably went a little overboard, you dig? Because you saw, you know, the fact that he went out the way he went out, he was doing a little too much sometimes. And that was just his personality. But everything we see today, when you say Lil Wayne, these are all little Tupacs. Tupac brought all this shit in the game. He brought this rebellious attitude to the game. He brought the tattoos, the Versace, the rock star look, the actor slash rapper that was dating Madonna. Like he brought this shit to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was doing it like that. Like Tupac was out of this world, man. He was ahead of his time. So a lot of people you see and a lot of the actions that they're taking and things that they do, mannerisms and how fly they try to be, this comes from Tupac, man. You dig? Viral Industry says DMX, Tupac, Nas all come before Eminem. Yeah, absolutely, cuz. Absolutely. Rocco Restagno says Pun was more lyrical than Pac. So was Big L. I agree. I agree, homie. I agree. I agree. Miss Bunny says, so Eminem wasn't ahead of his time? No, he wasn't. He wasn't. Listen, let me tell y'all something, and this is no hate. Shout out to Eminem. Great, great lyricist. Eminem didn't do anything that underground rappers haven't been doing since the early 90s. You understand? Go look up a clip. I want everybody to stop right now when you get off this live. Go look up a clip of Master Ace. You all familiar with Master Ace? Go look up a clip of him. He sounds just like Eminem. Eminem sounds just like him. And Eminem even said that he got his influence from Master Ace. Bruh, I'm 44, I was born in 1980. We had spitters throughout our whole lifetime. Cannabis. You dig? Like, come on, man, like, come on. Tria said, question, what happened to Scarface? Scarface, he seems to have some type of health issue. He got some type of health issue going on. But Face, I still rock with Face. You know, some rappers are just older now, man. They not really doing what they, you know. But people who've lasted the test of time, to be honest, right behind Tupac will be Jay-Z. We gotta be honest now. Jay-Z, his last album came out and it was not a flop. He was not washed. It's a classic album in my opinion. It was a very necessary album. 444 was a very necessary album. You dig? Because he was being himself. Lil Wayne, a 44-year-old man, tried to come back and drop an album and tried to be who he was when he was 26, and it just didn't work. Yeah, I'm 44, Miss Bunny. I'm 44 years old. You can see the grays right here, you dig? GOJ says, these guys have matured. It should sound different. Yeah, absolutely. It should absolutely sound different. And Jay-Z, listen, he came back. Go listen to Family Feud. Go listen to Family Feud off of 444. This is how you're supposed to come back. This is how you're supposed to sound when you come back. You're supposed to sound like the Clips when you come back. I'm talking about, this is grown people rap that even young people can still connect to and still enjoy. You dig? Ty Eagle says, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Yeah, I'm talking about stuff that, I mean, that's that right there. Listen, Ty, that is a quotable that will never go nowhere. You dig? OJ actually said that, but Jay-Z made that popular. But the whole quote, the whole line that Jay-Z put down will always be around. That's a classic line. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay, you dig? So stuff like this matters. Name a quote off of Eminem's last album. I dare y'all. Somebody do it. Name a quotable, a popular line off Eminem's last album. Lil Wayne's last album. Name a line off of it. Christopher Brown says every rapper says Eminem is a GOAT though, even Jay. Jay-Z never said Eminem was the GOAT, and if he did, I need to go look that up. I've never heard Jay-Z say Eminem was the GOAT. Let me tell you, man, a lot of these rappers say M was the GOAT. They were saying it. I need you to look at the timing, sir. Chris, go look at the time. Go look at the time when they said that. That was when Cuz was popping. That's when he had the machine behind him and he was the biggest thing on earth. What's up, big dog? How you feeling? How y'all doing tonight? Yes, indeed. They were saying stuff like that. Rakim said it. I think Busta Rhymes said it. You know what I'm saying? But they were saying stuff like that to stay in the good graces of Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. They know better than that shit, man. You crazy? GOJ said he is not the GOAT at all. That's appeasing the industry elites. Thank you, sir. Thank you. King Dread said he sold more than everyone. He's the GOAT. Listen, King Dread, let me explain something to you, sir. You must be new here. Are you new to hip hop, sir? Ice Baby sold plenty of records. Is Vanilla Ice the GOAT? Come on, man. Sales, yeah, they got rich, but you gotta understand. I interviewed Benzino. If you go on my page, I know a lot of y'all don't like Benzino. I know that's gonna trigger a lot of people. I interviewed Benzino, and he brought up a great point. The reason why Eminem sold all those records is because number one, a lot of the music that he was doing. You mean to tell me it feels so empty without me? You mean to tell me that's hip hop? Go cut that song on. You mean to tell me is that supposed to be hip hop? Na 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 na. What the fuck? What is that, man? Is that hip hop? So, to my point, Eminem sold records because that was like pop. That's like pop. He was a Caucasian man. Of course, he's gonna sell 1 trillion records. Of course. You got Jimmy Iovine behind you, Dr. Dre with you, the biggest machine in the country, and you're a white guy. You're gonna sell all kind of albums. So it really doesn't count, dog, to be honest with you. Y'all forgive me, man. I'm missing so many comments. Y'all hit the like button, man. Hit the subscribe button. The quota said, remember, we are talking about the people saying words. These rappers are not curing cancer or fixing the ozone layer. All this energy and these rappers only speak words. Coast DD, what up? Jay-Z is a mature rapper, but not among the top 5. Big KC said Blind Fury is a good rapper. Yeah, Blind Fury is a beast, man. Blind Fury is a beast. Bones, what it do, homie? He says he was funny rap and catered more to multicultural people. More people, more money. Yeah, he was catered to white people. Let's just be real. He was catered to white people. Tell me an Eminem song that you believe was catered to black people. Give me one. Give me one, man. Out of his whole entire career. He came out the gate catered to white folks. There's nothing wrong with that. But we gotta be real. Hi, kids. Do you like Primus? We didn't know who the fuck that was. We had to be told who Primus was. You know, 9 Inch Nails. We didn't know who that was. He wasn't talking to us, y'all. You dig? But shout out to M, man. Listen, I'm not mad at what M brought to the table. I'm not mad at what he brought to the table, but I'm talking about a art form where people had nothing. You understand? And they had to be creative. Not saying Eminem is not creative. He's very creative. But he had a cheat code. It's kind of like Drake. It's kind of like Drake. Drake even said it in the interview. I'm Jewish and I'm black. How can I lose? Like, you know what I'm saying? He appeals to, he's very easy to listen to. He doesn't scare anybody. You understand? Marcelo Nita says, truth be told, you speaking the truth. Shout out to you, Marcelo. Miss Bunny says, who was the last rapper before Eminem? Vanilla Ice. Nah, before Eminem, let me see. Let me see. Who? That's a good question. The last rapper before Eminem. Hey, I think it was Vanilla Ice, man. Snow. Snow. Damn, who else? I mean, think about the Beastie Boys. They sold crazy albums. You dig? But let me tell you, the Beastie Boys were doing hip hop. The Beastie Boys were doing real fucking hip hop. You understand? Now, Paul Wall was after Eminem. If I'm not, yeah, Paul Wall was after Eminem. George says, generational talent. It was his time to shine. He shined and we moved on. We moved on because no one can quote a song from his last album. That's a fact. And you know, my thing with Eminem, let me say this, my thing with Eminem, the racist rap hour. Who all knows, press 1 if you're aware of the racist rap hour album that Eminem did. Press 1. Who all is familiar with the racist rap album? Now, I told y'all, I interviewed Benzino on Top Flight TV. If you go on my page, you can check out the whole interview. I know you don't like Benzino, but it was very informational. And they did an investigation on Eminem. Y'all know that? Yeah, those tapes. Those tapes. You know you did some wrong shit when somebody says those tapes. Those tapes. Marcelo, no. Listen. They did an investigation on Eminem. He's not from Detroit, y'all. He's from, I think, Arkansas or some. Don't get me to quoting. The interview was out, and he did a whole album. That wasn't just a song. He did a whole album talking about black people. Do y'all know that? Yeah, Kendrick would body Jay and Pac. I believe that. Yeah, I'm talking about as far as you can't really match up Kendrick and I don't know about Pac, man. Listen, Pac, he had Biggie shook. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Marcelo Nita says, Unc, you gotta show sources. Listen, I implore you, type in Benzino Top Flight TV. The evidence is out there. Listen, y'all, they put a copy of the tape in the Source magazine. Do y'all know that? This is why the Source no longer exists. They put a copy of the tape in the Source magazine. The two guys who sold the Source the tape, they sold the tape for $15,000. Okay? I believe they're deceased, or one of the guys is deceased now. But the guys told everything. We heard the song. What do you mean a source? Go look up Eminem. Stop. Get off my live. Fuck it. I don't care. Go look up Eminem, the racist rap hour, or Black Women Diss. He was on there going hard on black folks, dog. Like, come on, man. We cannot forget that. He never apologized for it. Christopher Wise says he's from KC. Yeah, he's from, born in Missouri. That's where it was. Missouri, yep. He's from Missouri. Yeah, man. Jesus Rodriguez says the Source no longer exists because Benzino sold because his music, that don't even make sense. Let's just say Benzino's music was trash. What does that have to do with the Source magazine? Wouldn't he have the Source to fall back on? The Source ended because they got sued, dog. They got sued. Go listen to Benzino tell it. You dig? This is all facts. Everything's documented. Benzino was not the sole owner of the Source. He was a partner with Dave Mays. St. Joseph, Missouri. That's what it is. Yep. Marcelo said, bro, Eminem mentioned he was born in Missouri in his songs. He also apologized for the racist songs in his. No, you don't apologize in a album. You don't apologize in an album, okay? You don't apologize in an album so we can go. What what kind of weak ass promotional tool is that? Oh, the apologies in my new album. Like, come on, cuz no, he should have done a press conference. How many black folks listen to Encore? How many black folks really bought our Encore? Nobody knows about that apology, man. Luke Assay says, still mad about I Am Zeno getting murdered 20 years ago. I'm not mad about none of that, dog. I respect Benzino for holding it down. Benzino is a artifact in hip hop, man, whether you like him or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with everything he's done or not done or whatever, but we gonna keep it real, man. We gonna keep it real. Um, I believe he lived on 8 Mile. He's not from like from 8 Mile. You dig? I don't know. You got to go listen to Benzino tell the story. Um, Asher says, I can't believe he said those things. No, don't believe. Do not believe me. Go look it up. I'm gonna sing it to you. Black black chicks, they do not mix or something like they said. Damn, what he say? He went hard, man. He went hard on black women. And but the thing is, it was a whole hour that I didn't even listen to. I didn't even want to hear the shit. It's self-entitled the racist rap hour. You dig? Miss Bunny says, does he have to apologize? Maybe him signing people like 50 Cent and wearing the free Yayo shirt, etc. He probably helped the family. Hey, sweetheart, listen, Miss Bunny, listen. Miss Bunny, listen. You listen. When a black person says anything wrong about, let's say, a small hat, they have to apologize very loudly, very clearly, okay? You don't get to just do a good deed that you're getting paid from. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much money did Eminem make off of 50 Cent? You did. That's not an apology. That's not amends. Oh, I'm gonna help the Negro. No, that helped Eminem more than it helped 50 Cent. Listen, imagine Eminem without 50 in the picture. Yeah, you know how much of a bag Eminem received from 50? Tria says, top flight, what do you think of Eclipse, the two twin brothers from Norfolk? What do you think? Well, first of all, baby girl, it's not Eclipse, it's Clips. And number two, they're not twins. Malice is 53 and Pusha T is 5 years younger. I just spoke on the Clips. Shout out to the Clips, man. It's been on repeat since I got home. Uh, it's been on repeat, man. I love it. This is how you come back. Those two brothers are class acts in hip hop, in my opinion. No gimmicks, no phony shit, no cryptic messages on Instagram. Just music. Great interviews and music. That's how I feel about the Clips, man. Y'all hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, man, if you don't mind. Uh, Michael Anthony says, you don't even know what he said. Okay, cool. I don't know what he said, but the tape is there. It's online for you to hear, sir. Don't be mad at me, dog. Listen, y'all. Every time I bring this up, people get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I didn't say the shit. Your man Eminem said the shit. Daddy Maddie, shout out to you, homie. Philip Harrod says, what has rap done for the communities? It's designed to tear people down. No, that's why I gotta correct you, Philip. Rap is not designed to tear anything down. There's certain forms of rap that I'm not gonna say tore the community down because let's be real. Most of the rappers come from communities that were torn down a long time ago. You understand? So let's not act like rap made the ghetto. No, we know who made the ghettos. We know who forced black people to live in certain areas. It wasn't rappers. That's ridiculous. You dig? Now, do I believe that certain rap is bad for the community? Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe it affects the youth. You know what I'm saying? It affects the kids, how they think, the image and things of that nature. But rap didn't make everything messed up. No. GOJ said, nobody ever asked what has heavy metal done for the community. Thank you, sir. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that comment. Because people, listen, when it comes to black folks, and I hate to get on the black thing, but when it comes to black folks, people act like no other communities have issues. Every other community is perfect. And they always want to point their finger at the black community. How about you point your finger at your community? Or the Asian community, or the Mexican community? What about what y'all do, man? What about the horror movies and the Scarfaces and the Italian mobs and shit? Why do you always point your finger at us, man? Why? Rocco says, ghettos don't have nothing to do with young YN culture, though. Philip says, heavy metal is also bad. It's not about race. It's absolutely about race, sir. It is. Most of the things that we deal with in life is about race. That's just my opinion. Not Today says, hate and ignorance did not start with rap. Absolutely. Most of these, let me tell you, man, most of these dudes are just emulating. Just take Chicago, for instance. People love to point out Chicago. Chicago has been a gangster haven. And guess who the first gangsters in Chicago were? Somebody put in the chat who the first gangsters from Chicago were. Anybody know? Viral industry. Correct, sir. Correct. You had the Al Capones. They was shooting stuff up. They hopping out the big old school car with the Tommy gun, drilling, sliding. Okay. Let's not act like it started with Chief Keef and them. Yeah, they absolutely, listen, Chief Keef and Dirk and all the drill rappers, they were incentivized by who? Who? Who paid these young black kids? Who paid these young black kids to spread this message? Why aren't you, that's not our community. Our community, listen, the black community did not give Chief Keef $6 million to spread that message. Most of the people who bought Chief Keef's albums were not black. Y'all understand that? Stop pointing your finger at the black community, man. Dan says the Democratic Party. What? Listen, it was Democrats and Republicans profiting off of gangster rap and the prison industrial complex. Julia says, bro, what I want to say to you is this. We black people have unconditional love for one another. That's the first step to understanding one another, bro. And you are right at what you're saying. Shout out to you, Julius. Jay Scoviette says you're delusional. Don't just make statements. You need to debunk what I said. Jay, you have the floor to debunk what I said. What did I say that was delusional? Miss Bunny said, people need to remember we all bleed the same color. I agree with you, sweetheart. I agree with you. I agree with you. My kids are mixed, man. You dig? Let me tell you something, man. Black folks typically don't have hatred in their heart for any other group. But it's not the same on the other end. Most groups, I don't care who likes this or not, let's be real, let's be honest. My channel is about honesty and being objective. Most groups, matter of fact, all groups, there's a large sector in every group that has a disdain for black Americans. Let's be real. Even black Africans, even black Jamaicans, even black Caribbeans. There's a large sector, not all, okay, that have a disdain for black Americans. Black Americans, our culture consists of not hating people. Okay? Now, when it comes to each other, yeah, we might have a problem with each other, but that's from slavery. But we typically do not have a culture of hating other people because they are different. That's who you think coined the term invited to the cookout. You're invited to the cookout. You're invited. People use that too you loosely, but you get the point in what I'm saying. Whatever culture, there's no culture that said, "Oh, you're invited to the powwow," or "You're invited to the goddamn campfire." No, you're invited to the cookout. That's a black thing. It's a black American thing. You dig? CT says, why is the highest homicide rate per capita? Lord, y'all say the same bullshit. Y'all say the same. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna agree with you, right? Let me tell you something. I'm not one that denies. I'm not one that denies that there is a problem. Just like every other group has problems. Just like every other group has homicide rates. But I'm gonna stick to black folks for right now. There is a problem within black culture, right? Within, not black culture is made up of this, but there's a problem within black culture where a lot of the youngins are out here killing and drilling. Since you want to bring up per capita and homicides, I want to ask you a question. What is the dominant society doing about this? What are they doing to stop these young black kids from killing each other in these cities? Are they cleaning these cities up? Are they investing money in these cities? No, they're not. So until these politicians, Democrats and Republicans, start making this a priority, I don't really want to hear it. We came out of slavery with nothing. You understand? I want y'all to listen to this. Everybody didn't have a mother and father growing up. Everybody didn't have parents that took care of them growing up. Everybody didn't live in the suburbs growing up. A lot of the killings that you see is from underprivileged kids. You understand that? You don't want to address the issue. You just want to point out the problem. You don't want to have empathy and understanding. You just want to say, well, 5% per capita. Why are you guys killing each other? Okay, it sounds great. You got your gotcha moment, but you're not looking at the underlying condition. Our families and ancestors came out of slavery with $0. We built the country. Listen, a lot of y'all not gonna like this. Our ancestors built the United States of America. We were not stolen. We were sold by other Africans. They sold us. We came to a land mass. Some of us were already here. Some of us were already here. You understand? But we mixed in with the Africans brought over and we became foundational black Americans. We built America. A lot of your ancestors, you guys came later. We've been here for a long time. We built the country. After we built the country for free, we were let go with nothing. When they let us go with nothing, we were pushed into these different neighborhoods. No resources were given. And as a result, you see what is going on today. The CIA brought in crack cocaine to these neighborhoods. The people that you see killing, the people that you're talking about, the per capita, these are products of crack babies. These are products of crack parents, crack neighborhoods that the CIA brought in. When will you address that? When will you talk about that? You only want to talk about the result. You only want to talk about the result. You don't want to talk about the cause. You dig? I bet you cuz rolled out too. Simon says, is it wrong for Michael Jordan to invest in the prison system? Listen, Michael Jordan can invest in what he want to invest in. Number one, I don't know if that's a fact because I've heard conflicting stories on that. Okay, and I'm not saying that I don't believe it, but I've heard two different stories that there's another Michael Jordan who is the one that is invested in these prisons. I heard it's not the ball player Michael Jordan. I haven't done any research to back that up, so I'm not going to stand on that. But let's just say Michael Jordan decided to invest in prisons. What the? Who cares? Whatever. Why do y'all always focus on the black people? When are you gonna focus on the other 99% that invested in prisons? That invest. When are you gonna talk about the record companies that promote the violence, the violent music? When are you gonna talk about that? And you will not talk about that. You just don't want to talk about it. Max, so what it do? Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Dwayne Wilkinson said, we worry about the wrong things. Rodney S., shout out to you. Christopher Brown said, what about self-accountability? Keep people kill and use drugs under their free will. It's all about choices. Listen, Chris. Chris, walk with me for a minute, if you would. Chris, where do you live at, sir? And let's be honest, where do you live, man? GOJ said he doesn't know what he invests in really. His financial advisors do. That's a great point. Johnny Cash, what it do? Larry Fourway, what it do? The quota said, Christopher, no, we built this country, we didn't get breaks. And when the ended slavery in other places, the U.S. make it weird. Even Nazis made fun of America because we still have racism. Yeah, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell y'all something. The whole world knows. The whole world knows. People outside of this country know what happened. And they also know that America never made it right. Y'all understand that? Only the per capita crowd, they believe that they did some noble shit. Oh, we did this, we conquered, we did this. Oh, yeah, it's okay, don't talk about it no more. They're in a delusional world, but the rest of the world, the universe knows. Everybody knows what happened here and that it was never made right. You dig? Nick says, greetings from Epstein Island. Y'all crazy, man. Larry Fourway said, we literally had no job and some of us was living in annexes. Samuel said, we were stripped of everything that we knew and all they gave us was a holy Bible. Exactly. That's why I don't deal in Christianity. I'm not mad at Christianity for, whoever takes advantage of it or use it for their spiritual guidance. I had to put Christianity down once I did the research. You dig? Viral Industry says, America wants to invest in FBA now. Our stock going up. All you tellers go worry about that country y'all love so bad. Shout out to my FBA family. Foundational Black Americans, man. Shout out to everybody, man. M. Michael says, honestly, no one in America knows true racism like the rest of the world knows racism. Y'all don't know real racism because too many gore shock video sites are gone. Listen, M. Michaels, listen, sir. That was a racist statement that you just made. This is racism 101, what you just did. Minimization. You don't know what I've went through. You don't know what the rest of the foundational Black Americans on this chat have been through. So you don't tell me I don't know real racism. I know real racism, okay? Nick said Donald had official business on Epstein Island. Trey Chastain says, man, stop. You've done zero research. Okay, you're not saying nothing, Trey. What do you stop what? Research on what? Let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. Check says Christianity was in Africa well before slavery. Yeah, but that's not the Christianity that people practice today. Okay, the Christianity that people practice today is a more Europeanized version of Christianity. You dig? You talking about the Coptic Christianity in Ethiopia. Tim Harsh says, living in the past only robs your future. I'm German and I moved here from 1975. You goddamn right you moved here in 1975. Guess what? My ancestors, we built this motherfucker. So don't tell me, sir. Listen, we'll stop talking about it once it's made right and once it stops. But honestly, we're never gonna stop talking about it because it was a big deal. You dig? Like without us coming over here, this shit would be nothing. Let's just be real. Without foundational Black Americans, man, America would not be the great country that it is. Let's just keep it real, man. If they could have done it without us, what the hell do they need us here for? Sean Anthony, peace and blessings, homie. Uh, ATX Screwhead says Mexicans built this. No, Mexicans didn't build this. What? Are you crazy? That sounds good, sir. That sounds good. See, this is what I mean, right? This is what I mean. This is the shit I'm talking about. Mexicans built the USA since when? We're not talking, I'm talking about, listen, they had to come to a place called America to build. Who you think set that foundation? Hence, foundational Black American. I'm talking about when we got here, it wasn't called America. When the Mexicans and the Germans and the Irish got here, guess what it was? It was called America. Guess who built it? Us. You got it? ATX says Mexicans been here first. Come on, man. Let's not listen. You just talking out the side of your ass. Listen, I understand what's going on with my Mexican brothers and sisters. I understand that y'all, going through a time, but let's not lie in here today, okay? Yes, Mexicans were here a while back, but guess what? They sold their stake, okay? They sold their stake. $15 million is what they received for California. Did you know that, sir? Miss Bunny said Mexicans sneaking over since 1905. That's late in the game. That's late in the game, yo. Dan Solo said the red Indians were here first. They were red Indians here as well as native Black Americans. Well, native blacks. It wasn't American yet. Listen, I'm half, I'm not gonna say half, but my mother is native, okay? My mother's native. Like real, not the $5 Cherokee that a lot of people say they are. I'm talking about real deal. I know where my family is. I know what tribe that I'm from. You dig? That my mother's from. You understand? They have a museum where I can go see my family and how long ago they were here. So you preaching to the choir, homie. Um, Mike says even with internet and language issues, the Japanese jumped ahead of every race in this country. Their priorities are family and education. We could all learn a lesson from that. Now, let me say this, man. I'm not 100% mad at that statement, but the Chinese they're given credit, they're given opportunity when they get here. Because you know why? Because the dominant society knows that they're going to stay in line. You understand? And they're going to join in on the racism. You understand? The dominant society knows that a lot of these immigrants, they'll give them some leeway and some resources because they know if they fuck up, they're going to get their ass sent home. You can't send us home. We're home. We're already home. You dig? They can't a lot of people don't like the fact that we can't get sent nowhere. A lot of people that come from other countries, just shout out to everybody. I got love. I do business with different people from different countries, but they know they will align with racists. Okay, a large sector of immigrants, they'll align themselves with racists because they don't want to align themselves with us because they'll get their ass sent home. You dig? Nanny Coat, the Nanny Coat Indian. Okay, Nanny Coat. Go look it up. Out of Delaware. I used to go to powwows when I was a kid. ATX Screwhead says, keep lying. What did I lie about, ATX? I just told you, Raw Lee. Nanny Coat Indian. Nanny Coke Indian out of Delaware. What's funny? Go look it up, homie. Go look it up. You dig? Zero says an African is an African. Am I American and a Mexican? I'm not African, sir. I'm a foundational black American. You dig? I don't have any family in Africa. I can't go to Africa and be a citizen. Where am I from in Africa? Rodney S. said, born FBA, yo. Shout out to my FBA family. Foundational black Americans in this hole. Hey, ATX says, you're saying blacks can't get sent anywhere, but aren't black people the reason birthright citizenship existed in the first? Yes, we are locked in. We are locked in, sir. We cannot get sent anywhere. I know you don't like that because it's supposed to be this narrative that we're supposed to be next or no, listen, sir. Where are they going to send us? Where are they going to send black folks? Listen, Donald Trump himself, go look it up if you don't believe me. Big Donnie said out of his mouth, black Americans built this country. We can't get deported. You can't deport us. Not only can you not deport us, you can't deport. We will tear this shit up. You understand? Imagine going to DC, Baltimore, New York, Miami, LA. We can stop at LA. Imagine going to LA telling foundational black Americans, y'all come on, y'all gotta go, you're getting deported. Bro, do you know we'll die out this? We know we will die and we're not going anywhere, dog. You understand? We have the fighting spirit, dog. Do you know we changed laws? Do you know we had to make America get their mind right? We had to make America be civilized. The race riots that went on, the civil rights, the non-violent civil rights, the fight that we put up as people, we had to force these people to change their ways and their mind. The forefathers, if you will. You understand? We fought very hard. Our ancestors fought very hard. You dig? Warren Thomas says, we can't be sent anywhere because they have nowhere to send us. Absolutely. Why don't they have anywhere to send us? Because this is our home. ATX says, you just proved yourself wrong. Keep praying for that when they send your ass to Africa. Okay, sorry. You're not even speaking intelligently. Again, I have no family in Africa. There's nowhere in Africa they can send us. Even Africans know that we're not African. We got Nigeria in here. Olotunde. Tell these people, my brother, tell these people what they would call us if we stepped on your homeland. They would call us what? Would they call us Africans? No, they would say we're black Americans. Trippy says, let's discuss World War III possibilities. Oh, it's very possible, sir. I've already started stocking up on some food. I want to start doing more, but yeah, it's very possible. Second comment says, you Dominican, my brother. Hey, dog, you know how many people call me Dominican? I get that a lot. People say I'm Dominican. Michael Avity said, no one's going to Africa. Absolutely nobody's going to Africa. See, ATX, he don't like it because he probably going to get sent home here shortly. And no disrespect. But they can't send us home, dog. Larry Fourway says, how can we go to Africa? That's stupid. Yeah, it's very stupid. Money G says, go home to Africa. I'm home, sir. I'm home. I'm in Maryland. I'm home, baby. I'm right here on American soil that my family built, okay? I used to believe in the whole Africa thing, y'all. Listen, I got a big tattoo of Africa on my chest. I was a big proponent. I could have swore I was African. You couldn't have told me no different. Until it dawned on me, man, that number one, I can't go nowhere in Africa and be a citizen, right? Number two, I don't have no family in Africa. Then I went and talked to my family. I went and talked to my father. I already know where my mother side of the family from. They native. I went and talked to my father. I said, Dad, do we have any Africans in our family? No. We're foundational black Americans, dog. Cooper Carter said, y'all are lazy. How are we lazy? When we were brought over here and enslaved, the ones that were already here were enslaved to do the work for y'all. How are we lazy? How am I? I've been up and out all day, homie. I've been getting shit done all day. How am I lazy? Shout out to Pittsburgh, 412 vibe. Shout out to my Pittsburgh niggas, man. I got some good homies in Pittsburgh. Peace Out said, okay, but how are you black though if the history of slavery didn't happen? Slavery absolutely happened. Omar, shout out to Omar. He said, I recognize the accent, homie, in Cali since '89, but born in Baltimore, grew up in Anne Arundel. Shout out to you, brother, Anne Arundel County, man. I caught a charge at Anne Arundel County one time. What should I do my research on? I don't know. Refresh my memory. Did I tell you that? Thomas' son said, obviously you can't use the internet well enough. Thomas, are you upset, sir? Shout out to Philly, man. Shout out to Philly. Hey, man. Hey, my man from Philly, you know Reek Raw? I got a Reek Raw interview out. My man Reek Raw from Philly. You know, I know Beanie Siegel. I got some good Philly homies. I ain't gonna say me and Siegel's homies, but I kicked it with Siegel several times. Jay Seymour with this tide, every color was a slave. No, they weren't slave like us, sir. You dig? Pat MC said, damn, I was born in Anne Arundel County, Maryland as well. Shout out to Anne Arundel County, man. Shout out to my Pioneer City niggas. Yeah, shout out to my Pioneer City niggas, man. Kev says, punching the clown while I watch this. I don't know what that means. Warren Thomas says, why all the questions about our history? They big mad. Listen, man, some people have been mad. They're always going to be big mad. Especially when we talk like this. A lot of people don't like when we talk like this. They want us to be quiet. They want to take this stuff out of schools. No, don't tell them about what we did. You know your history is filthy. You know you are a filthy motherfucker. If you don't want nobody to know what y'all did, you got to know, man. Listen, history is so filthy that they want to they've already banned it from schools. Mark Mason says, DMV, PG County. Shout out to PG, man. What part of PG you from? Springfield, Massachusetts. What it do? Hey, Springfield, Massachusetts. I don't know if you know my man DJ Lucas. I just did a short interview with DJ Lucas, man. Go check his page out. DJ Lucas. He's on Russ's new album. Y'all know Russ? Yeah, I just did an interview with him. He came to my town and interviewed me, man. Real solid dude. Larry Fourway said, you guys created nothing without us. Listen, no, it's the other way around, sir. You all created nothing without us. Do you remember the colonies that you all tried to set up and you failed and you started eating each other? Y'all remember that? They had to bring us over here. We were fine. Some of us were already here and some of us came from Africa. Y'all had to come and enslave us. So get it right, homie. Get it right. Yeah, Lake Village, Naptown, PG County Standard. Yeah. Ray Ramos said native and blacks had it rough and still do. Uh, Kitty JD says there's always gonna be hate in this world. Yeah, unfortunately. Pendrop says interviewed about what? You crying? No, man. Hey, listen, man. Where I'm at, I'm somebody where I'm at. You understand? I'm not famous or a big name, but where I'm at, I'm very important. You understand? Pendrop says you weren't there, you victim. See, he's mad. He's so mad. Listen, man. I am a victim of white supremacy. Okay, I am. I mean, it is what it is, man. You dig? It is what it is. Larry Fourway said, we don't like you guys. No shit, Larry. No shit, Larry. Larry Fourway says, we want segregation. What's too bad, sir? Let me tell you, man. You want segregation, why don't you just move somewhere where there's no black folks? Because there's still towns and states out here where it's barely any black people. Uh, Larry Fourway said, most of us, when we talk behind your back, we talk about never seeing you again. I can care less, man. I can care less. Listen, you see, when you come to my page, you gotta understand, I'm not one that seeks acceptance from anybody. I don't want acceptance from the dominant society. I don't work for nobody. I don't care. I do my thing. I can say what I want to say. I don't care who talks behind my back. But I'm glad you're telling the truth because we already know this. Peace Out said, I wish I could get rid of history that was from the past because we as a people need to focus on the future instead of the ignorance of the old just saying it's ugly. No, listen, peace out. They got to make it right, man. I'm going to say the R word, and it's going to piss a lot of people off. Y'all ready? We need, we are owed reparations. Listen, every time I say that word on my stream, people get mad. But we need reparations. You dig? It's reparations time, man. Kenny, it's reparations time, sir. Dwayne, Dwayne, Wayne, reparations are coming, sir. Okay? Yeah, it's time. It's time, baby. ATX is still in the building. I thought you ran away, sir. He said, look, bro, all I'm saying is, why don't y'all defend us Mexicans when it comes to speaking for one another and voting for unnecessary changes when we divide? Let me tell you something, man. Shout out to my Mexican brothers. I got a good Mexican homie, my tattoo artist. He's very mad, and I think he's mad at me. And I had to tell him to his face. I said, look here, bro. I love you, but I can't fight for your people because it's a known fact that a large sector of Mexicans do not fuck with black people. What do I look like fighting for people that don't fuck with us, that don't want us to give reparations? You got George Zimmerman's, right? You got American Cholos. Do y'all see American Cholo? Y'all see what he said about reparations? They're against. Ask most Mexicans. Ask, I'm not even gonna single out Mexicans. Since we are talking about it, fucking Mexicans. Ask most Mexican Americans how they feel about black people getting reparations. ATX, I want you to ask your family. This is a homework assignment. Ask your family and your friends. Ask your family and your friends how they feel about reparations. Cowboy Nation, welcome to the chat, man. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Larry Fourway said, if on a global scale, they are the number one criminals. Who is the number one criminals? Who? Cal Rohn says, we are the real naval Americans. You mean native? We are the real Native Americans, the real Indians, the true owners of this land, kings and queens of his name. Black people, put your boots on the ground, get this shit cracking. Yeah, Cal knows that we were here in the beginning. Cal knows this. A lot of us know this. We've always been on this land, okay, along with some of the Red Indians. You dig? They came after us. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Visible to all users says, I still get called the N-word. Heard jokes about hanging, treated certain ways, all because I'm light-skinned in places I've been told I don't belong by white police in towns. It's just, man, listen, Visible, I'm sorry you had to go through that, homie. A lot of us have gone through that our whole life. You dig? People will try to deny it. The name of the game is to deny it. The name of the game is to deny racism, to tell you to stop talking about it. Listen, my brother Visible, don't ever stop talking about it. Don't ever stop talking about it. You dig? Dwayne Paul said, stop blaming the white man. Who did you see blame the white man today? No, there's a difference between blaming somebody and holding people accountable and telling the truth. There's a difference between blaming and telling the truth. You understand? I believe in full accountability. I'm very hard. If you go on my videos, I talk about black degeneracy. You understand? I hold my people accountable. I'm very vocal with that. I'm not a promoter of Sexy Red and things of that nature. I do shoot music videos, so I do kind of promote some of the degeneracy. You dig? But people know my stance. You dig? So nobody's blaming the white man. Jason Bell said, how much later did the Red Indian come after blacks? I don't know the exact timeline, but you can look it up, man. The information is out there. Bree said, most of us voted against this stuff, though. That's the crazy part. Voted against what? What did you vote against? Melly said, I'm not paying reservations because I didn't do it. My ancestors didn't do it. No, guess what? You're paying reparations to natives to this day. Yes, you are. I know natives that get $900 check a month. Natives got casinos, they got land, they got their own police forces on these reservations. They took care of the Indians. They took care of the natives. They never took care of black folks. They never made it right with black folks. And until America makes it right with black folks, it's gonna be chaos like it is today. Look at how shit is today. You got crazy ass officials in office. You got the Bidens and Kamalas and Democrats and Republicans. We talking about it's almost World War III. You dig? It's almost World War III. Until America makes it right with foundational black Americans, man, this shit is on a sinking ship. And I say this before, I believe the only reason we haven't been bombed and nuked and invaded is because the rest of the world knows that foundational black Americans are here. You dig? I think we are the reason why people have not went all the way on America. Visible to all users says the money they used to ship illegals around this last 6 years could have been in the funds for FBA. Absolutely. Listen, they'll rather throw money in the goddamn ocean before they give it to foundational black Americans. The people on this timeline that are mad at reparations, they would rather see $1 trillion burn in the trash can before they give it to us. That's just a fact. Well, you weren't a slave. You didn't have to work for free. No, boo. My ancestors did, and they're not here to collect the money. But I'm here to collect the money, man. You dig? Warren Thomas says, y'all lazy. Username 090 says, we built the country. Shout out to you, man. We absolutely did. Rodney S says, we are the beginning and the end. FBA, repetition on repeat. Teach. Shout out to you, Rodney. Talk to him, man. On 4 of them says, You don't need that money. What, nigga? What you talking about? On forwarding them. I bet you that's a troll account. Zah said natives didn't get reservations. Are you kidding? Me not even going to address that. Me not even going to address that. On forwarding them says should go to veterans who serve. See, on forwarding them, he's trying to use Chicago slang. I bet you he's one of these cats out here that try to act black and try to indulge in the culture, but when it comes to reparations, he's saying it should go to he should go to veterans. It's very interesting. Username 090 says, so owning slaves to do all your work isn't lazier? Yeah, they have no logic, bro. The logic is just, let me say this, man. Some people will say anything in order not to get to the truth. In order to avoid the truth, some people will say anything. You dig? ATX says, once currency will lose the physical form, all the huge corporate businesses will control your access to money that you need to literally survive. Well, until then, man, we need our money. D9 Flow, what it do? Jordan says, imagine having every opportunity in the world and saying, I want what my ancestors didn't get. Pathetic. No, Jordan, you're pathetic, sir. Listen, sir. I'm sitting outside of my home, okay? I'm a homeowner. And yes, I still want my goddamn money because you think it's acceptable, okay, for a group of people to build an entire country and not get paid. Your ancestors benefited, you benefited, and you are telling us that we're the problem for asking for reparations? You're pathetic, sir. Okay? It's a debt that's owed, sir. It's not a handout. It's not something that, you know, we need you guys to do us a favor. It's a debt that's owed. You got it? The Jews receive reparations. The Japanese Americans receive reparations. Native Americans, even slave owners receive reparations. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that slave owners receive reparations? On phone them said, ain't getting my money. Crazy, you crazy. On phone them, I bet you don't even have any money. Oh shit. None Yab says, just letting you know they giving it out with other cultures, but not African Americans. Yeah, they giving everybody else the money. That's why we're not really mad at this immigration thing, because they thought it was cool, right, to bring everybody else over here, get them resources, get them money, and they still ain't make it right with us. They still haven't socked it to our pocket. They still have not socked it to our pocket. But they thought they was going to bring everybody. That's why we not mad at Donald Trump. They thought they was going to bring everybody and their mother over here to stand on top of us and receive the benefits and resources we was supposed to get. And Big Don said, nope, y'all take y'all asses home. And you know what we said? We said we gonna move right out the way. We gonna move right out the way. We not. What the hell are we gonna fight this for? Everybody gotta go home, man. Everybody gotta pack it up. Everybody has to pack it up. But guess who doesn't have to pack it up? This guy. This foundational Black American. I don't have to pack it up, sir. You dig? Matt B says, not to change the subject, but you get mistaken for young man Slim Thug. I get people call me all kind of LeBron, Jeezy, Game. Man, I haven't heard Slim Thug. Somebody called me John Jones tonight. That's crazy. Jasmine Mueller says, what exactly did you build? We built America. Okay. Listen, Listen, Jasmine, Jasmine, do me a favor. I want you to Google right now. What was the first commodity on Wall Street? Private user said, you ain't foundation shit. Yeah, you're trying to cope, sir. Come with some scholarship. We're the foundation of America, okay? Everybody knows it. Being mad and trying to cope is not going to erase that fact. We were the first commodity on Wall Street. So when Jasmine asked, what did we build? We built the economy. The economy was built off of slave labor. You understand that? This great economy. Without the economy, you can't do shit. You can't build shit without the economy. So guess who was the first commodity on Wall Street? Us, slaves. You dig? Jordan says black fathers are not the foundation. Listen, Jordan, I have my father. My father has been in my life, all my life. I've been in my kids' life all their life. What are you talking about, sir? I don't know what you're saying. ATX says, nah, he's right. Black people was here before U.S. was here. They came as slaves, but it was before a country. Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. We built this shit, man. And it's very shocking and it's very impactful when people find that out or when it registers because nobody really thinks about it like that. They think we were brought to America. You dig? They think slaves were brought to America. But no, we weren't. Okay? We were brought to a landmass and we had to build America. JT says the first commodity was rice. I understand where you're coming from. The first commodity was not rice, sir. It was not rice. Go look it up. Go do your research. APCS on the beat says y'all was workhorses. That's it. Well, whatever the fuck you want, however you want to frame it, sir. We built this shit. Marion Allen says the first slaves sold here in 1606. Visible to all users says my dad is white and I've only seen him 3 times my whole life. Y'all sound dumb with that. They do sound really dumb with those remarks. And the thing is, let's just say black fathers wasn't in the home. We already know why. Listen, anything that black Americans had to deal with, any of our shortcomings, any of our discrepancies that we have, dysfunctions, 99.9% of it comes from how we were treated in America. It comes from our ancestors. Pardon us if we weren't the enslavers. And pardon us if we were enslaved for 263 years and then another 100 years of Jim Crow. We have dealt with so much trauma. And you know, trauma can be passed down from generation in genetics. So a lot of people, a lot of our ancestors saw things, experienced things, went through emotional trauma that was passed down to generation to generation. So if something's going on in the black community, don't act like we had the same upbringing, if you will, okay? One was different than the other. When you got to sit there and watch you know about the breeding farms in Maryland? Do y'all know about the breeding farms in Maryland? See, a lot of y'all gonna run off this stream because you don't want to hear the truth. They had breeding farms where they would breed slaves. They would breed mothers and sons. You understand that? Y'all understand how wicked? You understand how wicked the transatlantic slave trade was? People talk about this Irish slavery. That shit had nothing on that shit had nothing on the shit that we went through. They were enslaved for 7 years. And then they got compensated afterwards. They were indentured servants for 7 years. We had breeding farms. They used black babies for alligator bait. Imagine being on a plantation and they take your son, they take your youngest son, and they use him as alligator bait. Imagine that. Private user says, no, I'm out of here, you're lying. What am I lying about? You can look, everything I'm saying, you can look it up. Warren Thomas says, you need education. Y'all are trying to cope. I know you're trying to cope. You don't want to hear the truth. Go look up the breeding farms in Maryland, stupid. And I don't even call people stupid, but y'all being stupid. I know you don't want to hear it. It's wicked, man. It's a wicked thing, man. I know it's hard for you to listen to, man. I know. I already know, man. Cole one says, get a life and stop talking about things from out here. Y'all see, did I tell y'all? Stop talking. Stop, they hate that shit. Stop talking. Stop talking about it. Please, it's making us very uncomfortable. I know it makes you uncomfortable. That's not a dab pen, Andrew. That's just nicotine, man. I don't even get high. AH2 says, never let me forget. My brother, never let me forget. I will never forget. We will never forget. Just like 9/11. Never forget. God bless you, Marquita. Y'all hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button for a player, man. Pittsburgh, Mississippi. Shout out to you, Jimmy Armstrong. Jules Z says we should focus on saving the children. See, y'all want us to talk about everything but black Americans. Y'all want us to talk about, see, this is another diversion tactic. It's another diversion tactic. No. Stop talking about racism. We should be talking about the kids. It's crazy. It's crazy, this, y'all. Cal Roan said it was down here too, especially down south. Baby gator bait. Yeah, you can find paraphernalia. You can go to an antique shop, so they normally had this stuff in the back. You can find paraphernalia and statues and little weird shit that they be collecting, people be collecting. Aurora said, that's kind of crazy, but for real, we got to stop and go forward. No, you go forward, sir. Look, we live forward. That's the thing, man. Y'all act like we not going forward. You act like I'm not closing business deals. You act like I'm not taking care of family, going on vacation, living life. Just because I'm talking about history doesn't mean I'm not going forward. Stop saying shit like we got to move on. No, we've moved on, but we're also speaking on the past. You dig? Tony Montana says, stop crying. You don't see a tear in my eyes, sir. We just speaking facts. Why y'all get so emotional when we speak facts? Christy Johnson said it's awareness. It's education. See, the thing is, thank goodness for YouTube, because they trying to take this out of the schools. But guess what? Thanks to YouTube, my kids, other people's kids are going to have this history documented for life, man. You dig? Oh yeah, Dead Man said, I love the metal on the back of the ground. My grandmother had those on our house. Glad to see them again. Yeah, man. My house is a little older. This was built in the 70s. You dig? This one was built in the 70s. You see the whip there. Talking about moving on, cuz we done moved on. What you talking about, cuz? Like, what we talking about, man? What we talking about? No Face says, best way to keep history from repeating itself. Absolutely. DB Cooper says, you blame people of today. I don't know what that means. C's McCall says, not knowing your past, they can pull it over your head again. Absolutely. Tony Montana said the Mexicans are getting it the worst. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Joseph Gary said Christie got the meaning. Shout out to Doug. Listen, y'all, it's been a great stream. It's been a great stream, man. Shout out to all my races in the building. I hope y'all return. Hit the button, man. So y'all can come back and get some more of this work. We know y'all got intellectually spanked tonight. Y'all came with no scholarship. Y'all came with a lot of coping mechanisms. But I do this often. And anytime you need a nice intellectual spanking, come on over to Top Flight TV, man. And I'll take care of that for you. And we'll get your mind right. You dig? DB Cooper says, stolen from your homeland. No, sir. My homeland is right here, okay? DB Cooper, when did your family get here? What year did your family get here? What year did they arrive here to America? Because my family didn't arrive to America. We built America. You dig? Mike said, what London rapper do you think can compete? I don't know, not one, bro. Except, what's the dude name? We can go band for band, and he's not competing. Like, come on, cuz. Crypto Bullcon says, is Will Smith a hero? I wouldn't call him a hero. He's a successful brother. Salute to Will Smith. Kivu Kuru says, even med school, due to affirmative action, black people entered university. They struggled to keep up. Oh, God. Affirmative action, DEI, in a nutshell, was for white women, gay men, gay people, and and immigrants. We were on the bottom of the barrel of all those programs. They weren't really for us. They didn't really benefit us. They used us. They used our struggle to get everybody else right. That's affirmative action. That's DEI. We don't care nothing about that shit. Take that shit, stuff it. Y'all can do what you want to do with it. We don't care about affirmative action or DEI. Rob Marvin says, go Trump. Yeah, shout out to Trump, man. Jesse Wayne says, you know it's worse than one black. Viva la Mexico. Rob Marvin says, go Trump. But shout out to Trump. But is that supposed to make me mad or something, dog? I don't care about that. Tony Montana says, you're here in America. I'm very happy, sir. And I don't have to leave. When did your family arrive to America? Tony, why don't you answer the question? Keyview says, DEI, Keyview, where are you from? You're an immigrant from where? Hey guys, listen to what Keyview said. He said DE hire was actually meant for you bums. Now that's not a white guy talking. That is an immigrant. I want to put that on blast because I got to show you how they feel about us. That's why we're not caping for the immigrants. You dig? What up, man? You all right? Larry Fourway says DEI was meant for white women. Doug said, oh, I don't want to read that. Jesse Wayne said, let's go. Rob Marvin said, go America. Yeah, go America. Absolutely. I'm American. I'm a foundational black American. This is my homeland. Where is your family's homeland? Ireland, Germany. Where you from, sir? Tony Montana said, you will be living in Africa. No, actually, I wouldn't, sir. I would be right here on this land. You dig? Right here on this land. Yeah, okay. Jesse Wayne says, okay, you want to spit facts? Bro, the first slave owner in that soldier of was black, was a king in Africa and sold y'all to the American white people, English people. Okay, Africa needs to pay reparations too. See, y'all always try to divert the focus to the Africans who sold us. Now let's get it real clear, man. The Africans y'all showed up in Africa being slick, being deceitful. See, the Africans had never seen that type of deception before. This slimy deception. And y'all always say the African soldier, in which they did, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you all purchased. If I go purchase some stolen goods today, I'm just as guilty. So stop trying to do the little slick shit where y'all like, oh, well, African soldier, we were just here. We just bought you. They made us buy you. Like, shut up, man. Like, come on, man. Larry Forway said, plus we came here on our own before 1619. Yes, black aboriginals were absolutely on this land. Uh, Guzzo said, Africans are still selling Africans to this day, though. Probably. I'm not African. I'm a foundational black American, okay? Y'all got to get that through your head, all right? I know you all want us to be African so bad because you don't want us to stake claim to this land, but we are the foundation of America. We're the foundation. And if you really get out your feelings and think about it, you will agree to that. Even Donald Trump said, black Americans built America. You dig? It's your boy Super says, it's crazy how accountability only applies to the black community, but when it's time for other cultures to be held accountable, they want to change the subject. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm glad somebody else could see that. Tony Montana said, foundation, you don't work. I work very hard. I just don't work for you. I don't work for anybody. I work for myself. You dig? I work for myself. I'm free. I'm what you call a free Negro. You dig? I wake up and I do what the fuck I want to do. You understand? I go to the gym every morning. I come home, I cut my grass, I take care of my yard. I might wash my car. I kiss my kids, take them to the pool. You dig? I cook out. I cook on the grill constantly. I do what the fuck I want to do. You understand that? And I know you don't like that shit. Half hawk, half mad. Shout out to you, homie. What it do? Warren Thomas said, and if Africans are selling people, God will deal with them too. Yeah, those African nations don't exist anymore. The ones that sold us, they don't exist anymore. But if they did, they would need to pay us reparations as well. Everybody that was involved in that dirty, sinister transatlantic slave trade need to pay. You understand? Jesse Wayne said, bro, you just mad because I called you out on your ship because you've been on here trying to spit facts and you're not spending nothing but BS. I don't know what you called me out on, sir. I don't know what you called me out on. Tony Montana said with that EBT. Let me tell you, let me give you, Tony Montana, listen real quick. You know where I get my EBT from? I'm not going to say her name, but it's a white chick that sells me her EBT. Now think about that. Think about, put that in your pipe and smoke it, Tony. Let me tell you, Tony, listen to me. I live in Cumberland, Maryland. I live in Cumberland, Maryland, sir. Do you know this is the white ghetto? Do you understand where I live at in Cumberland, my neighborhood, they think that it's rich with homes about $200,000. They think this is the rich part of the neighborhood. They think this is the rich part of the town. Sir, have you ever been to these small towns? These towns like West Virginia, Morgantown, Fairmont, West Virginia, Hagerstown, Maryland. Do you see how most white people in these towns are living? EBT, us EBT? Come on, man. Oh shit, did Al Sharpton pass? Oh shit. Sonny Mac. Sonny Mac, did Al Sharpton pass? We got breaking news, y'all. They said Al Sharpton passed. Damn. Damn, that's crazy. I mean, I'm not celebrating that he's passed, but I mean, Al Sharpton was just like selling us out, man. But shout out to him, man. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. Condolences to his family. T Mac 305 said, "About time." Shut the hell up, cuz. Matt Beast says, "Watch the movie The Butler. It was the 60s and 70s, not that far back." Crypto says, "Should a descendant of a black man who's also a descendant of a slave owner need to pay reparations?" That's a great question, man. Um, no, no. If you're a descendant of a slave, okay, if you're a descendant of a slave, you're owed reparations. The Black Mamba, what it do? They said Al Sharpton passed, y'all. Texas Bama, what it do? ATK said, "So since y'all gonna stay here, y'all think y'all gonna be up?" Man, ATK, man, listen. What do you mean are we gonna be okay? You know what we went through, man? You know we already been through the fire and the smoke. We done been through slavery, dog. We still here. They enslaved our people, cuz. Like, what do you mean are we gonna be okay? Hell yeah, we gonna be okay. We not having no shit. We not taking no shit. You understand? That's just in our spirit. We tear shit up if need be. Jesse Wayne said, "Nah, bro, you are right about a lot of stuff on here. A lot of stuff. I ain't saying you ain't." Well, shout out to you for being honest, man. America is a myth said Al Sharon ain't dead. Did he pass or no? I can't, I need to look it up. I can't just, the one and only said, "If you gonna be okay, then stop begging." Nobody's begging. Let me ask you a question, the one and only. If you lend somebody, if you go do a job for somebody, right? If you built somebody's house for them and they said it, for free, wouldn't you go and expect to collect your debt, collect the debt? That's what we're doing, sir. Sharon Haywood said, "Us being here, then they need to blame their ancestors because we didn't ask to come here." Uh, Tony Montana said they should make Africa take them back and give them money, but they got to go. You keep see, you're coping again, sir, because you know we're not African. Okay, you know we're the foundation of America, and that bothers you. That's why you keep bringing up Africa. I know. It's a great way to cope, man. Got to do what you got to do, man. You dig? I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. ATK said, "Where you gonna go when they don't give it to you? They're gonna give it to us. What you gotta understand, reparations will be given. Okay, and I know y'all don't like that, but it's gonna happen. It's absolutely gonna happen. You dig? I'm sweaty as a mug. It is absolutely gonna happen." Jesse Wayne said, "I will take you up for that one. Just because you have an African descent doesn't mean you need to be called absolutely. Hey, yeah, everybody on the planet has some sort of African descent. They have the African DNA. Because where did humans originate from? Somebody that's intelligent. Where did humans originate from? Anybody know? Somebody gonna tell us where humans originated from? Hawk, half man. Reparations like EBT, welfare, affirmative action, DDI, etc. No, sir. Reparations is a debt that's owed. ATX says, "I personally love black culture as a Mexican." I know everybody does, dog. Listen, black America is primarily made up of black culture. We bring the flavor to American culture, and that's just a fact, man. That's not being egotistical. That's just a fact. You dig? Bobby B said, God is going to make them give us reparations or he's going to tear up America. Hey, you're not far off. I don't really believe in this on certain religions, but I believe that if America doesn't make it right, the universe will and does has a way of destroying things. You see, it's already happening. You see what's already going on out here. It's a mess. America is a mess right now. And partly because they never made it right with foundational black Americans. Half hawk, half man. I love black people. Holding on to the sins of the distant past helps nobody. Well, why don't we make it right? Okay? Why don't we pay the debt? Let's start there. Let's start by paying the debt. Okay? And we can take it from there. Lynn says, how can you get reparations when the majority of your ancestors were never slaves and your people sold each other? Lord, somebody help her, man. Somebody help her. Because she's coping. She's telling lies so she can cope. Cal Rohn says, in order to go forward, you got to know your past, where you come from. Out of all the races, they're trying to erase ours. Yeah, they're trying to erase history. That's exactly what they're trying to do. West Coaster for life, you sus. Okay, West Coaster, are you a Mexican, sir? Are you a Latino? Jasmine Mueller says, how much should every black person receive? Well, listen, Jasmine, this is what we're starting with. Y'all ready for the numbers? Y'all ready for the number? What we're going to start with? We're going to start with 20 trillion. 20 trillion is what we're starting with. Do y'all know is reparations legislation being discussed? Is reparations hearings all around the country for the past 2 years? Y'all know that? Do y'all know that? Yeah, the dishes do need done. My girl mad at me, so she ain't really washing dishes right now. So I'll get them tomorrow. Since you gotta be so all up in my damn sink. Mike says, anyone who doesn't agree with you is coping. You've got a very narrow way of looking at things. You feel like people owe you something because your parents were exploited. Join the club. Listen, Mike, the reason why I'm saying people are coping because they're not, let me tell you something, there is no plausible excuse of why America can't make it right. So anything that comes out of anybody's mouth, anybody that's about liberty and justice would say, yeah, we need to get you all your reparations. Let's finally end this thing. We're tired of hearing about it. Okay. We're tired of hearing about it. Let's just go ahead and get these people situated. Let's pay them the debt that their ancestors worked for free. Let's start there. Let's make this racism thing correct. That's the problem, sir. If you're not saying that, you're not for liberty and justice for all. If you're not saying that, the only alternative to that is, shh, be quiet, stop talking about it. It's like a rape victim. It's like a rape, somebody who rapes. Hey, shh, don't tell nobody. I know I did you wrong. Just don't tell anybody, okay? Let's just forget this ever happened. You got that? DeMille says the ancestors will prevail. Yes, they will. They always have. They always will. That's a fact. And they know that. That's why they coping and upset. The Robin A. Smith channel says 20 trillion. What did you do to what happened? I know you can't even type, homie. Struggling and Striving podcast. What it do, man? Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Y'all know we do this on a weekly basis. I Am the Beef said, bro got the Velcro beard. My beard is luscious. My beard is moisturized, it's luscious. You dig? Yeah. Jasmine said, good luck on getting 20 trillion from anyone. Sharon Haywood said, and they will celebrate George Washington's birthday, but not Martin Luther King. Yeah, we already know what time it is, man. Rogue said, you like a broke Umar. Rogue, there's nothing broke about me, sir. I'm not Umar. Shout out to Umar, but I'm not Umar. I look way better than Umar, dog. You dig? Way better. Noob use heck and wreck. LeBron James. Shout out to Chuck. Chuck, shout out to you, homie. Jordan still talking about Africa had slaves. Shut the fuck up, dog. Why are you still talking about Africa? I'm not African. I'm foundational Black American, and that burns you up. You don't like that. You want me to be an African so bad, don't you? You want me to be an African so bad, dog. Yamya says he's trying to get comments and views by baiting people. Don't comment and move on to a different video. Yama, what city are you from? See, what country are you from? See, this is what I mean with the immigrant thing. Yamya is not American. Jay says, do you guys support the police? Just asking, and I know why. And I know why I asked. Do we support the police? I support law enforcement that is just, okay? But typically, I mean, I can't say I support the police. No, I don't really support the police. I mean, but I don't. Why do I need to support the police? I pay the police with my taxes. What do I need to support them for? Do they support me? They're supposed to support us. The police are supposed to see that little back to blue crowd. Y'all got it fucked up. Y'all bootleg and support the police. The police are supposed to support you, idiot. Noob, shout out to you, man. Warren Thomas says, go back to Caucasus Mountains. Jordan says, Africans had slaves, so you owe me money. He just keeps saying the same shit. Yeah, the back to blue crowd, they are some bootlicking motherfuckers, and they don't even like the police. Y'all saw how much the back to blue crowd likes the police on January 6th. All that back to blue shit went right out the window. Let me tell you, let me break it down for you. Mike Brown gets killed by a police officer. Everybody's saying you should just comply. You need to respect our officers. January 6th, they told y'all to wear a mask. Donald Trump says, well, I'll meet you at the Capitol. All that back to blue shit went right out the window. Officers got unalived out there. You dig? So it's just a bunch of hypocrisy. Bunch of hypocrisy. 77T said, defund the donut dough piglets all over the planet. Yeah. Sharon Haywood said, Warren, you so in behind Trump, you wait till they get through viewing those tapes and find out he was at P. Diddy party. Big shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Y'all hit the like button, hit the comment button. I mean, hit the subscribe button. Indigenous African, shout out to you, homie. Peace to you, man. Matthew Baker said, you hate the police till your house gets robbed. Who did see this is the shit that I be talking about. Matthew, when did you hear me say I hate the police? Did you hear me say that? When did you hear me say that? Y'all just be making stuff up on here, man. opinion on the LGBTQ HDTV. Said the HDTV. Man, shout out to everybody, dog. We don't hate groups, dog. We don't, what a motherfucker do is none of my business. Let me say this, man. What somebody do in the bedroom is not my business. And vice versa. You dig? Jesse Wayne says, how the F do you think y'all owe anything from something over? See, they can't get it out of their head. They can't stop talking about it. They can't stop talking about it. Bradley Sharp says, more bootlickers in too deep to change mine now. ATX says, so you think if America don't pay the debt, the universe will? Yeah, I think that, we're watching it in real time. It's a spiritual thing, dog. You know, it's a spiritual thing. Listen, if America doesn't make it right, dog, the karmic energy is coming. Even some of the forefathers wrote about, they wrote about the fear that they had from what they've done. They wrote about, do you hear me, y'all? Listen, some of the forefathers, I can't quote the exact quote. I forgot who exactly said it, but somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about. Some of the forefathers said they fear what is going to happen in the future because of what was done. That's how bad it was, what was done in the past. You can never tell me to let it go because it was bad. It was bad. Nah, it was a white forefather, if you will, quote unquote. I gotta find that quote. Something like, my heart shivers when I think about if justice is real. Like, it was real deep, man. It was a real deep quote. I gotta find it though. Ashton Kutcher says, the only reason London rappers get more love is because y'all traditionally support the game. Stop hating. No, what London rappers are getting more love? This is some new shit. I've never turned on a London rapper in my life. You dig? Bradley Sharp, shout out to you, homie. Soul, what up? Thomas Jefferson, I think he was the one, dog. I think he was the one that said that. I gotta look it up and give it to y'all. Matter of fact, I should pull my computer up, but I'm about to get off here. King Dread said he answers the old rap questions though. Yeah, my fault, King Dread. You got a question, homie? I ain't see your question. Sean DeLove, what it do? Nobody cares about London rappers. Let me tell you something. London rappers will never take over. Let me tell y'all something. This is another reason why you know we're the foundation. No other culture will be able to take rap over. It's a foundational Black American art form. All this other stuff is copycats. Nobody wants to hear it. You understand that? That's why I say we're the foundation. Because Eminem is irrelevant. You saying Eminem took over? You say Eminem took over? No, Eminem didn't take over. Neela Osuna, is that your name? Did I pronounce that correct? London will never take over America, American rap, because it's a foundational Black American art form. You dig? JT says, you are Native. Yeah, my mother is Native American. Yeah. Yeah, Eminem is irrelevant. We saw that with his last album. Last 4 albums, nobody really cared about. What was the single, that weak ass single that he came out with? That shit was terrible. Truth says blacks will never take over either. Show me a first world black country. I will send you money. You're it. America, Holmes. Truth. America. Truth said blacks will never take over either. Show me a first world black country and I will send you money to learn to read. Truth. Send me my money because America is a first world black country. Do I look like I'm in a third world country? Do I look like I live in squalor, sir? No. Brad Lang said the Moors ran the world for thousands of years. Yeah, they sure did. Rabbit James said, even if y'all are trolling, your judgmental and childish behavior is what's wrong with this country. And what's up rap got to do with what's wrong with American culture? Free Diddy, yeah. Georgia Love said Free Diddy. Yeah, Free Diddy, man. Look, all right, listen, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Big shout out to everybody in the building, man. Listen, we had a great stream. Very good stream. Listen, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel because I will be back. What's today? Sunday? I might come back tomorrow or Tuesday. We going to chop it up just like we always do. I started this stream with hip hop. We ended up talking about race as usual. I did not mean to go there. I wanted to kick Drake's back in some more. You dig? But I'll be back with more. I'll be back with more beautiful discussions, deep, thoughtful discussions, variety of topics. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Go follow Top Flight _TV on Instagram. You dig? Shout out to y'all. Bradley, shout out to you, homie. Georgia Love, shout out to you. Donald, shut up. Your own people sold you. My own people. I'm not African, sir. I got to say it one more time. It's so important that y'all got to know that I'm not African. All right? I'm a foundational black American. We're the foundation of this country. You dig? Rodney S. I'm out of here. Peace.